I'm curious, as people are trying to figure out Venom's potential relationship with Spider-Man down the road, do you think that this incarnation of Venom could ever be a Spider-Man villain, or would he have to be retooled like to sort of fit into the sort of that Spider-Man world, or could he fit into a Sinister Six?
What's going on, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU, and now the Sony Spider-Man universe, which coincidentally could actually end up being kind of the same universe, and I'm definitely going to talk about that in this video. But the big thing happening right now is Sony is actually teasing something way bigger than just Venom, Let There Be Carnage. In fact, it actually does tease that Venom and Spider-Man are going to be going up against each other very soon. And we have some reports today that talk about when exactly we'll see Spider-Man go up against Venom. And as I talked about in previous videos and as I teased in the beginning of the video, director Andy Serkis of Venom and Venom 2 has pretty much confirmed that Spider-Man and Venom are about to meet. So if you want to stay up to date on Venom and Spider-Man, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. So let's go ahead and start off with these new promotions that Sony is doing for Venom Let There Be Carnage, because they are quite different. So the first promo that we noticed was a little bit different, happened a few days ago, and it comes from the Sony Pictures official Twitter account. And here's what they posted. In 2 weeks, the universe is expanding in Venom Let There Be Carnage exclusively in movie theaters on October 1st. Now, this is interesting and caught a lot of people's eyes, because if this was a normal Venom Let There Be Carnage movie, the universe wouldn't really be extending. Now, obviously, the reason that we think the universe is expanding is because of all of the rumors that have been going around about Spider-Man and Venom finally meeting up. And the timing of this tweet, which I will go on to talk about in depth in a bit, is lining up with Tom Hardy and Andy Serkis, the director of Venom and Venom 2, both talking about how Spider-Man and Venom will meet. So this tweet was a little bit curious, but then they sent out another tweet not too long after, a couple of days after. And this one got even more intriguing. The tweet said, "There's something way bigger happening. Discover it in Venom Let There Be Carnage exclusively in movie theaters October 1st. Get tickets now." They literally said there's something way bigger happening. But in this post, they also posted more footage of Venom Let There Be Carnage, and the way that they did this is rather interesting as well. Just take a look at this brief clip.
Brock, we've been waiting in the darkness for you.
On October 1st, the universe is expanding.
There's something way bigger happening than you and me.
I'm done with this guy.
Why me? We long had secrets. You know what secrets want, Eddie? They want out.
Venom, exclusively in movie theaters October 1st. Rated PG-13.
So as we can see here, it says the universe is expanding. And then it shows Tom Hardy saying there's something way bigger happening than you and me. And then immediately after that, it shows Woody Harrelson's Cletus Cassidy smashing a spider. Now, if you ask me, this is done super intentionally. To me, as somebody who looks for this stuff, I see that as a big nod to Spider-Man. And we can actually take a look a little bit closer here. As they say the universe is expanding, when they say the universe in this TV spot clip, they actually show Detective Mulligan reading from the Daily Bugle. Now, of course, we all know the Daily Bugle from Spider-Man. And this honestly is actually feeling a lot like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 right now, where Eddie Brock works for the Daily Bugle alongside of Spider-Man. Well, Peter Parker to their knowledge. But that's kind of the feeling that I get right now, and if you take a look at that newspaper, it is the same exact Daily Bugle from the Sam Raimi Spider-Verse. Like literally exactly the same. The placement of the logo between Daily and Bugle is exactly the same. The font for Daily Bugle is the same. The slant is the same. Like literally, this is the same Daily Bugle. Which brings up a lot of questions, especially if you consider the fact that Sony is now advertising their universe is expanding, and the fact that there is something way bigger happening than we actually know. What exactly is Sony trying to tell us here? Because Venom Let There Be Carnage isn't exactly a big multiverse film. Yet we have the Daily Bugle that exists in another universe appearing in this film. We have Andy Serkis, the director, talking about how eventually Spider-Man is going to meet Venom.
I'm curious, as people are trying to figure out Venom's potential relationship with Spider-Man down the road, do you think that this incarnation of Venom could ever be a Spider-Man villain, or would he have to be retooled like to sort of fit into the sort of that Spider-Man world, or could he fit into a Sinister Six?
Well, I mean, all those questions are, ones which we've not purposefully not focused on right now. I mean, I kind of don't want to give any sort of fake hope or false information about things that might be happening in the future. I mean, obviously, at some point, those worlds are going to collide big time. They are. I mean, if we are so lucky as to make more Venom movies.
And Tom Hardy and Andy Serkis did an interview together with Brandon Davis of comicbook.com, where he asked them about that infamous picture that Tom Hardy posted to his Instagram and deleted, the one of Venom eating Spider-Man, where you can see his arms and legs hanging out of Venom's mouth. He also asked about the Daily Bugle and essentially said, "Is Spider-Man on your minds for the future?" In which Tom Hardy replied, "Of course it's on our minds. All the time. Look at the photo. Those little Spidey legs hanging out of the mouth. It's very specific." He then said this.
"I think you can't do a Venom story without knowing Spider-Man's in the mix. Yeah. He's somewhere."
He then went on to say that there are some events that need to happen before Spider-Man and Venom meet, but Spider-Man is always on their minds. And in another interview with Jake's Takes, Andy Serkis essentially said the same thing. Eventually, Spider-Man and Venom will meet, some things just have to happen before then. So we have Sony posting these things about the universe expanding, we have the director and Tom Hardy talking about how eventually Spider-Man is going to go up against Venom, and of course we have talks about the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene. Now, most of you have probably heard about the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene at this point, and even though it is just a rumor, it does appear to be pretty legitimate. There's leaked audio of it out there right now that does seem pretty legit, but you never know. But Sony did do a fan showing to some lucky fans out there, and some of them, after they saw the movie, went to the internet and posted what they saw in the post-credits. Now, I stick to this being a rumor because they could simply be trolling. We've seen this happen already with Spider-Man No Way Home. People create fake things, fake photos, fake trailers all of the time and pass them off as leaked. However, this does seem to be a little bit more legitimate, and considering the fact that Sony is now saying Venom's universe is expanding, it would make sense that we would see Spider-Man in the post-credits of Venom Let There Be Carnage. Now, I know a few people have been asking which Spider-Man, because a lot of people would like to have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man return, not to mention the Daily Bugle is a Sam Raimi Daily Bugle reference, so is it Tobey Maguire that could be coming back? Well, based off of what we've heard about the rumor for the post-credit scene, and spoilers coming up if you don't want to hear any about the rumor, it looks like it's going to be Tom Holland Spider-Man. According to the rumors, if they do come true, it's going to be very clear that it is in fact Tom Holland Spider-Man, which is pretty much what I expected. Yes, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire will most likely be in Spider-Man No Way Home, but we can't really expect them to just get up out of nowhere after years of not playing their Spider-Man and just start playing their characters over again. Showing up in one movie for a historic moment, having three Spider-Men together, is one thing. That's different than committing to and taking up that mantle again for a few years. And like I said, the timing for this is kind of hilarious. It looks like Sony is kind of trying to embrace a little bit of Spider-Man No Way Home right now. We have the leaked video of Andrew Garfield that came out that Andrew Garfield himself would go on to talk about on Jimmy Fallon. And keep in mind, like I said in a previous video, they know what they're going to talk about before they go on the show. It's not really like they would have you think it is. Their publicists pretty much get together and tell them every question that they're going to ask before they ask it, before they film. So they know exactly what they're doing, and they got permission from Sony to talk about this. Now, they're not admitting that Andrew is in the film, but they are kind of hyping it up and raising the intrigue of the question, is he going to be in the film? This is way different than before, and now we have Sony posting things like the universe is expanding and things are way bigger than they seem. Then we have the rumors of the post-credit scene of Venom Let There Be Carnage. That got out, and they probably weren't planning on that either, or maybe they were. But this all seems a little bit too coincidental, as it's all happening and coming out at the same time. And then you have people like Andy Serkis and Tom Hardy, Venom himself and the director, talking about how Spider-Man is always on their minds, saying yes, they will eventually meet. Now, both of them said that events have to take place beforehand, but I think Venom Let There Be Carnage is most likely that event. They're obviously not going to say, hey, yeah, in Venom 3, Spider-Man and Venom are going to meet. However, we have a recent report from Daniel Richman stating that that is the case. According to a report from his Patreon, Spider-Man will be in Venom 3. According to him, it's happening, and considering the fact that the multiverse looks like it's actually going to affect the Venomverse in some way, shape, or form, whether that's the two universes colliding or maybe they've been in the same universe the whole entire time, who knows, but it looks like they are going to be going up against each other. And considering the post-credit scene rumor, considering the marketing that Sony is doing right now, and considering what Tom Hardy and Andy Serkis have recently said, I'm gonna say that it's gonna happen. Of course, it's rumor right now, but let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, and for live updates, you can always follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.